Good day, students, and welcome to the Listening and Speaking of your B1 course. My name is Malik Vanderberg. I am from Cape Town, South Africa. And as you can see from the notes, I have been teaching English for a few decades. Having said that, it doesn't mean that I know everything. We are all learning all the time because language changes all the time. Whatever grammar rules or vocabulary there's been, because of the environment that changes, our language change. If you think about it clearly, in the days of your great-grandfather, there were no mobile phones. But today, in Arabic, you use a word for a mobile phone, which means that's a new word that came into the language. So language changes all the time. And we're going to be working together and try our best to improve your language skills. Furthermore, as I've said, I'm from Cape Town, South Africa. I have taught over the years in South Africa, but I've also taught in South Korea. But for the past, I think 11 years, this is my 12th year, I've been teaching in Saudi Arabia and quite enjoying it. Now, to move on to the pacing schedule, gentlemen, as you can see, no classes in the first 2 hours, and there's an introduction in the third hour, which is what this video is about. And when I see you on Wednesday in our virtual class, we will be starting with Unit 5, the environment. There is a speaking e-portfolio for which there's a 20-mark allocation. I will explain it to you in a moment. There's a second speaking portfolio. And then lastly, there is the listening final assessment. The objectives of the course is to try and develop your ability in speaking to research a topic using WH questions and ideas maps, and to develop an understanding of outlining and organizing a topic and ideas in a given speech. We're also trying to develop your ability to form techniques to ask multiple questions for opinions and checking information, to inquire about more information on a topic of interest, to raise alternative points of view, to identify opinions for and against an idea, and lastly, to analyze the idea of multiple intelligences. So, the idea is that you will be able to give a short presentation on an important invention using relevant organizational structures. Furthermore, for you to take part in a debate using relevant persuasive language. For you to be able to ask and give advice or consultation on a given topic. To exchange, check and confirm information. To be able to summarize a short story, an article, a talk, a discussion, or an interview. And lastly, to be able to narrate a story. This is in the speaking section. For listening, the course objectives for you is to develop your ability to identify lecture organization, to refer to previous knowledge and ideas, to be able to categorize opposing views and ideas, to recognize paraphrasing techniques, to distinguish lecture and text organization features, to develop note-taking strategies, to skim for main ideas in a recording, and to scan for specific information in a recording. Therefore, the objective is for you as a student to be able to differentiate between weak, unstressed and strong or stressed forms of emphasis in speech, to distinguish a reference made to earlier ideas in a talk or a speech, to identify the role and use of auxiliary verbs for emphasis, to recognize vowel elision and silent letters in isolated words. Furthermore, to spot rising and falling intonation, to understand responses in yes, no, and WH questions, to acknowledge different ways to paraphrase, to listen for a specific information in a text, and lastly, to listen for general information in a text. These are what you are expected to be able to do at the end of this course. So I just want to bring your attention to the fact that the listening and speaking, the weight of it is 40%, as is reading and writing 40%, grammar is 20%. Now, to get back to the famous rules, which we don't always want to hear, but which we unfortunately all have to abide by. So, for example, if students enters a minute to 5 minutes late, he will be marked as late, and you understand the repercussions thereof. If students arrive any time after 5 minutes, he will be marked absent. Now, gentlemen, these are not negotiable. In the class, the virtual class, you will be expected to keep your microphone on mute and raise your hand when you want to speak. Now, this sounds very funny, but there is an actual raise button so that you can just click that. I will see that your hand is raised, and then you may speak when I allow you to. The continuous e-assessment 1 and 2, which I referred to earlier, will be conducted online in the assessment course on Blackboard. So you are not going anywhere for your continuous e-assessment. The first and the second one, you will be doing it on Blackboard. However, the listening midterm and final e-assessments will be conducted on campus in the computer labs. So the listening midterm and final assessments will be done in the computer labs on campus. Then finally, students, during the speaking final e-assessments, you will be asked to video record your presentation. You have to upload the video onto YouTube, and only, and this is very important, students, only post the video link in the assessment folder. We will not accept the video in the assessment folder, only the link. If you send the video, it will be disregarded and you will get no marks for it. The link is what we require. Gentlemen, I'm looking forward to meeting you, and I hope that we enjoy this course.